See, I got the proper 12, and I got like a lit up display under it.
Uriah Faber.
And then, yeah, Uriah Faber, he signed a thing when I met him back in the day. And then Anthony Pettis, and I got the mini fridge
Nice.
for shit in here, yeah.
The California kid.
Building out the studio. The connection's better than normal right now. I don't know if you're in a different location or what, but it looks super clear.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Same place. The
Uh,
hill.
are you ready?
Yep.
All right. All right, what's up, y'all? UFC 266 Chrome Corner Podcast. Thank you for listening. It's me and Charlie T, as usual. Charlie, what's going on, brother?
Oh, man. Well, haven't had the best day, but I'll tell you this. It's better than John Jones's day.
Ooh. Some news just dropped. Go ahead and fill us in on the details, Charlie.
Well, John Jones arrested today for some type of domestic violence issue, and it's kind of a shame because he was in Las Vegas yesterday being inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, his first fight with Alexander Gustafsson. And, dude, the Dana White press release was, good God, dude. He said it's to be expected. That's worse than anything. He's like, it's not even a shock anymore. Like, so, come on.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when your boss doesn't really have much to say about you getting in trouble because it happens so often. And you would think, I mean, he doesn't have the stress of the media. He doesn't have the stress of a fight right now. He's literally just in the gym trying to get bigger so he can compete at heavyweight. And you're still going to go. I mean, I'm sure he had a lot of people coming at him for like clubs and appearances for the award he just got. But still, I mean, you got to, come on, man, be professional.
I mean, honestly, it sucks, dude, because, like, John Jones is probably the best MMA fighter ever. I mean, you could try to debate that, but, like, his record is just impeccable, and it's just he keeps doing stupid shit like this, and it sucks as fans because we like watching him fight, and it's like a great athlete in their prime. It's almost like Michael Jordan in his prime getting arrested, doing dumb shit, and like robbing us of seeing him play. So it sucks.
Absolutely. It's kind of reminiscent of Mike Tyson going to prison, right?
Yeah.
He was like pretty much at his peak when all that went down.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so that's the news on John Jones. And so even though you didn't have a great day, you said you had a better day than Jones, and that's for sure. I like the Central Barbecue hat you're rocking, representing Memphis, that's for sure. Got to, always. So UFC 266, guys, we've got 2 title fights on this card. I personally wore my gold shirt today because we got the champions coming in this week. Two fights for championship status. UFC 266, we'll start from the bottom of the card and give our fight picks as we typically do. Charlie T, you're the guest, so you'll pick first. And the first fight is Jessica Andrade and Cynthia Calvillo. We've got Andrade coming in at a heavy favorite. She's a negative 280 favorite. And they're both coming off losses, but of course Andrade's loss most recently was to Shevchenko. Andrade is ranked number 1. Calvillo is ranked number 5. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I agree with the odds makers. I think Andrade wins by decision. Just because Calvillo's last fight, she got pretty dominated. I mean, that was a decisive loss, and I mean, Jessica Andrade is just like, one of the best fighters in that division. It just sucks because, she's not going to beat Valentina Shevchenko, so no matter what she does, but she'll continue to be a top contender, and I don't see her having any problems in this fight whatsoever. So, Andrade by decision.
Okay. I've got Andrade by decision too. I don't think that Calvillo's ready for the top 3 status, but there's some dogs in the top three. I mean specifically dogs. When I say that, I mean Andrade and Shevchenko.
Mm-hmm.
The top two are dogs, and
No, none of them are going to beat Shevchenko until she. I feel like until she retires, none of them are going to beat Shevchenko. So it's just, you know, it's like none of them are going to beat Nunez.
Yeah.
Except Shevchenko.
Right. It's kind of like a Silva situation, a John Jones situation. They're going to take over the division until, in Silva's case, he does something wrong on his own. And in Jones' case, he just decides to leave the division. But, yeah, I think Shevchenko is going to do the same. So we've got the same thoughts on that. So we'll move on to the next fight. We've got Curtis Blades versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Blades is coming in at number 4, Rozenstruik at number 6. Blades is coming off of a loss. Rozenstruik just redeemed himself on a win over Augusto Sakai, but we're on to me for this pick. So I'm gonna say the grappling plays heavy in this, and I'm gonna go Blades. I think that it would be an ill-advised plan for him to try to sit there and stand with Rozenstruik. I think you always have to play that game a little bit as a grappler to get to open up the shots for the ground. But and Rozenstruik's he's got power. He's knocked out plenty of people, but I don't think he has power like the two guys that Blades lost to. I don't think he has that power. I mean, we saw Rozenstruik get absolutely blasted by Ngannou. So I think Blades uses his ground game. I think it's kind of a Khabib-style win, and he dominates him. I'm going to go with TKO in the third. Ground and pound.
Ground and pound. Well, see, now, gosh, after seeing Blades get knocked out by Derek Lewis, it's tough. Because, everybody has that point where they've reached the top and then they start to decline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying Blades has ever reached the top of the heavyweight division, but he's, 2 of his 3 losses are to Ngannou, and he's got the 1 loss, of course, to Derek Lewis. But Rozenstruik is just a very kind of confusing fighter, I want to say.
Uh-huh.
I mean, his two losses are to Francis, of course, and Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane, he got dominated in that fight. That was a decisive win for Gane. The fight against Francis, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. He was just leaving himself open to get just clipped, and he got clipped early. But the fight before that is the one I'm looking at, because he fought Overeem in a 5-round fight. He knocked him out in the 5th round, but Overeem was winning that fight. He was winning it pretty easily. He just ran out of gas, and Rozenstruik got him in the last few minutes.
Yep.
Especially in that last minute. So I mean, Blades has a similar style. He can dominate him on the ground. If he takes it to the ground, I don't believe Rozenstruik has an answer to that. And I really like your prediction on this, a 3rd round, ground and pound type knockout. Yeah, I think that, I think they do go the distance.
Okay.
But I think Blades by unanimous decision.
Okay, cool.
He controls the tempo of the fight, takes Rozenstruik to the ground, uses his grappling, ground and pound, bam. Curtis Blades back in contention.
All right. Now, moving on to the fight that's probably getting the most attention this week, I would say. Robbie Lawler versus Nick Diaz. It's a rematch of, I believe, 17 years ago, something crazy like that. Diaz coming off of what was an extended length of time, because it was originally a suspension for marijuana, which we now know since has been legalized in a lot of states that people can fight in. So there's a weird factor you throw in there. But Diaz has been out for a while nonetheless. Lawler's been really pretty active, 2 fights a year, 1 fight a year, depending on the year. But he's on a 4-fight losing streak. 2 guys that have been around for a long time. Lawler's been champion once, lost the belt, and he's kind of stuck around, in the top 15-ish area, but not breaking the top 10 much lately. Diaz, again, hasn't fought in a long time, so we don't know what to expect. Who you got and why?
We know this is a headline-grabbing fight. This, honestly, if Nick Diaz wasn't fighting, Robbie Lawler would be on the undercard. because he's, no disrespect to Robbie Lawler, he's a great fighter, but he's not what he used to be. The first fight between these two, according like you said, was 17 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Or I was, we were in middle school?
Yeah. I was 10-ish years old.
Dude, he was wrecking people though. I mean, he went to Strikeforce for a while. I think he won the title over there. He beat up Paul Daly.
Mm-hmm.
He came to the UFC, beat Carlos Condit. I think he beat BJ Penn as well.
Beat BJ Penn. I think he did. He might have lost to Carlos Condit.
No, he beat Carlos Condit.
He did.
He lost to George because he fought.
He did beat BJ Penn. I know that.
Yeah, and he came. Then he fought. I believe Anderson. Yeah, he fought Anderson Silva. He lost that fight. Had it overturned. I believe that it was a no contest, but then they had it overturned because of whatever was in his system.
Right.
6 fucking years ago. It's more than 6 years ago. It's almost 7 years since he's fought. I don't see how someone comes back from that long of a layoff and wins. I mean, Nate came back from a 3-year layoff and beat Anthony Pettis, but
and that was a close fight too. Pettis and him went back and forth the whole fight.
Close fight. But you see what's happening with Nate. I mean, he's fought twice since then, and he's gotten rocked in both of them. So obviously, I'm gonna take Robbie Lawler by decision. I don't think it's a great fight though, because these are two guys who are just haven't fought. I mean, one's on his last leg, and the other one, I don't even know if he can fight still. So I'm taking Lawler by decision.
It's a good call. We're riding the same wave today, so I'm going to go with Lawler too. I think that his activity, although he's lost his last 4, his activity against top-notch competition and being at American Top Team. Well, now he's actually left American Top Team.
It's in Florida, right?
Sanford. Something like that. But anyways, you know which one I'm talking about. Maybe I'll put it on the screen if I remember later when I'm editing or look it up. But he's there now, but he's been in American Top Team. But nonetheless, top competition in the octagon and while he's training for years on end. And I just don't think you can really replicate that when you're just training. And with a guy like Nick Diaz, how much has he actually been training anyways? We don't know, because the guy's his mental state's always questionable. And I hate even making statements like that because he's such a legend. But I'm just being honest from what's put out there in the media, what the narrative is. No one knows unless you're close to Nick. But it seems like his mental state is questionable a lot of the time, and so it's hard to believe that he's actually been getting better as a fighter. I think that he's probably only declining and probably slower, and timing and reaction time is not there. So I'm going to go with Lawler. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to go decision for Lawler. Unanimous, though. What's that?
Before you go any further, though, I have to say,
okay,
all respect to Nick Diaz, I was a huge Frank Shamrock fan back in the day.
Okay.
They fought in Elite XC.
Ooh.
And I'll never forget, because Frank Shamrock, he was Elite XC champion. God, he beat Phil Baroni for the title, and then he fought Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz put a beating on Frank Shamrock. I'll never forget, he was just like fucking taunting him the whole fight, like talking shit to him and stuff, and just hitting him at will, knocked him out. I mean, all respect to Nick Diaz, man. He's always a pleasure to watch.
Always, dude. The Diaz brothers have something in them that you either love or you hate, but no matter what, you want to watch them fight, and you have to respect that, period. So the co-main event of the night is Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko versus Lauren Murphy. Shevchenko's coming in at a ridiculously heavy favorite at minus 1250. She is the champ, obviously, and Lauren Murphy is ranked number 3. So we are back to me for this pick, and I think that it's pretty obvious who I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Valentina Shevchenko. I think that she picks her apart. I think that she fights kind of like she did Andrade, because I think that Lauren Murphy's tough. I don't think she's scared at all of Shevchenko. I think she's willing to try to throw with her, but I don't think she has the skills to. All respect to her, but I don't think she has the skills to. but I don't think Shevchenko comes out reckless. I mean, she's a pretty calculated fighter in general. I think she kind of gets her ground for a little bit, and then you just see this big downhill steamroll of a dominance. I'm going to go with Shevchenko. Man, she could do it in the first round. She could, I think. But I'm going to go second round TKO for Shevchenko.
We got the same pick, dude.
Same pick?
Second round knockout. I mean, I feel like with her and Nunez, they're just, throwing women out there, just serving them up. I mean, the fight we want to see is Valentina Shevchenko, Amanda Nunez at 135.
Yeah. Absolutely.
One more time. Because Shevchenko could have won that last fight. Let's see it one more time.
Man, it was razor thin. I would not have argued had they given it to Shevchenko. Let me put it that way.
No, I wouldn't have either.
So we got the same pick on that one. Second round, same outcome. So now, main event of the night, the two guys that were the coaches of the most recent Ultimate Fighter. We've got Alexander Volkanovski out of Australia, the current champion. We've got Brian Ortega out of America, the half American, half Mexican. In my opinion, I think we disagree on this, but if I had to say, I say that Volk lost to Holloway in their last fight.
I agree with that. I thought Holloway won the rematch. I thought he was the more aggressive fighter. I thought he got the best of Volkov in a lot of those exchanges.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was a split decision. It could have gone either way. Mm-hmm. But I was shocked when they gave the decision to Volkanovski. Honestly, Volkanovski's just he's been on this meteoric rise, the past few years. He's been at least a more active fighter. He's fought Max Holloway back-to-back. I mean, his last 4 wins, dude. Knocked out Chad Mendez, beat Jose Aldo, beat Max Holloway twice. That's pretty fucking impressive.
That's true.
That's pretty impressive. And Ortega, honestly, he's only fought once. He's only fought once since he got knocked out by Max, or not knocked out. It was a doctor stoppage against Max Holloway.
Something like that.
Yeah, but dude, he has only fought once. He hasn't been active. I mean, he fought one time. I mean, but he's fought once in the past almost 3 years. Honestly, I don't see him as elevating his game enough to take on Volkanovski. I think Volkanovski wins handily, 3rd round knockout.
Whew, okay. So we've got our first disagreement on this one. I'm actually going to go for the he's a very slight underdog, but I'm going to go for the slight underdog Ortega in this one. Part of me really was leaning towards Volk, and I watched back both of their last fights, which isn't always indicative of what's going to happen, but I watched back the Volkanovski Holloway second fight, and then I watched the Ortega Korean Zombie fight. I think that Ortega's upped his striking game enough to where it's going to be a really good fight. I think that this is going to be a battle between these two. I think that Ortega wins a decision.
Oh.
But I think that Volk needs to hope it doesn't go to the ground because Ortega's jiu-jitsu is slick. But I don't think that Ortega has the skills to take it to the ground. I think that unless Volk was to try to take it to the ground, it's not going there really.
Fighting Volkanovski is a lot tougher than fighting a Korean Zombie.
I wouldn't disagree with you there.
If you can't get past Max Holloway, not even come close to getting past him, you ain't going to get past Volkanovski. Because Volkanovski's cracked the code of Max Holloway,
So my rebuttal to that, though, would be that I think that if you're a young enough fighter and you're still growing in your game, that you could be the one to do it if anyone could do it. And I think it's just because he's elevated his striking.
My rebuttal to that is
okay.
How has he grown? How has he evolved as the fighter since that Holloway fight? He's only fought once.
I think that you can evolve a lot. Even without the chance to show it. Does it help? Would it help him a lot more if he had more fights? Hell yeah, it would. But do I think that he's grown Man, I don't think if you watch the reason why I say these things is if you watch Ortega's interviews, he doesn't seem like a guy who takes it as serious as he should or as he could. Volk seems like a guy obviously who takes it very seriously to respect to him for that, but I think that it seems there's a certain level of Ortega cranking it up a notch. I still don't think he takes it as serious as he should, but I think he's cranked it up a notch, and we'll see if it's enough. I think that he's definitely improved. It's just how much has he improved?
He's gonna they had some testy encounters on Ultimate Fighters, so I think Volkanovski's waiting to get his hands on it.
Yeah, I do think Volk is thinking that, and that worries me a little bit too. I think I think he genuinely doesn't like Brian Ortega, and I think Brian Ortega kind of he's so just careless about everything that I don't think he really cares that much about Volk, but I think Volk really dislikes Ortega, and he's going to try to bring that into the octagon.
We was fucking with him the whole show, dude.
Absolutely. I want to put on record, though, terrible season versus the other ones.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Oh, I thought it was shite.
It was more about fighting than it was the drama stuff.
I did like the fights. I enjoyed the fights, but the rest of it, compared to some of the classic seasons that we got to see growing up, I think it was pure shite.
We got to see the spiked versions of it. Just like focused on the house stuff and the drama inside of it. Man,
Spike TV. Spike TV was the wild, wild west.
Shout out to Spike TV.
Absolutely.
Spike TV was the shit.
Yeah, shout out to Spike.
It would always be the Ultimate Fighter followed by A Million Ways to Die.
And then Mansers or something really late.
Mansers! God, you can't even have that on TV now.
That's it, y'all. We've made our picks. We'll put our picks on Instagram as usual on the Chrome Corner MMA Instagram page. Follow us on there. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. We need more subscribers on here. Give us a like on the video. We really appreciate it. Any of you who listen, we appreciate your support. And we're out.